Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a full face of Angelica Nyqvist's favorites. I have had this style of video idea on my list for a very long time. I've been slowly gathering up some products and I would love to make this a series on my channel. So I'll go over other influencers I had in mind at the end of the video, but I'm very excited to start off with Angelica Nyqvist because I do buy a lot of her recommendations. I love her YouTube channel. Now, not all of these products I have because I bought them when she recommended them, but to come up with the products for this video, I went through both her yearly favorites, monthly ranking favorite style videos that she does, as well as if she did, the top 3 in every category, those types of videos. So these may not be all her tippy top current favorites, but she did really love them, gave them a good review. They ranked pretty highly in a yearly ranking or a monthly ranking, what have you. I have a huge bin of products here, more items per category than what I can apply to my face, so we will be picking and choosing. I'm willing to buy 2 or 3 new things, but I also just had a lot of this stuff in my collection already. So let's start off with the eyes. So I'm going to zoom you in. Okay, it seems that this is the closest I can get my camera with. As if you're familiar with my channel, I have recently been rearranging my background pretty frequently, just trying to find something that I like. I always start off with eyeshadow primer, and I actually did buy this on Angie's recommendation. This is the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime eye primer. I have shade 1 for, the fairest, lightest skin tones. But before I do that, because I would like to go in with eyeshadow pretty quickly following that, I have quite a number of eyeshadow options because Angie is probably one of my very top go-tos for eyeshadow palette recommendations. I love that she loves deep colors, colorful colors, and indie brands as well. So first off, I have Kaleidos Club Nebula, obviously in collaboration with Angelica. I thought it's pretty safe to say that this is one of her favorites. Her other collab I also bought, of course. I have the Odin's Eye Hella palette, which I have yet to use. Actually, quite a few of these I have not used. I do have a 3 Looks one palette, I believe, with the Kaleidos one. I can link that down below if you're interested. Her favorite palette of 2020 was the BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin palette. So I didn't buy it right when she ranked it highly over a year ago now. But I did pick this up during Black Friday this past year after, having it at the back of my mind since she ranked this number 1 in 2020. Her number 1 palette for 2021 was the Passion in Paris palette, again from BH Cosmetics. So I bought this on her recommendation as well. Haven't used it, still has the plastic on it. And then one I didn't necessarily buy on Angie's recommendation, but I really did want this. I still haven't used it yet. Who's surprised? Nobody. But the Lush Life palette from ColourPop ranked relatively highly in her 2021 ranking. It definitely wasn't, top 3 even, I don't think. But I have it. I just wanted to show it to you. It is kind of hard to see on camera because it is so reflective. Those are some of the palettes I have that are Angelica Nyqvist favorites. For today, I am going to dip into the Hella palette. I actually rolled this into my deck of panning project pan for a product that has duo or multi-chromes in it. The packaging is absolutely stunning. I knew I wanted to support Angie again with her second palette collaboration. I think she did a collaboration with Divina at one time, which was a selection of single shadows, but this was her second full palette, and I'm so excited to use this. I feel like I have so many ideas. This happened with Club Nebula too. I have so many color pairing ideas that I don't even know where to start for a first look, but that is what we are doing today. So let's prime with the Juvia's Place primer. This primer is very, very liquidy compared to what I'm used to. I typically like a consistency like the Urban Decay Primer Potion or the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is also a very opaque base, but my eyelids are quite discolored, if you will. I'm going to smooth this out in a second. I just want to get it kind of smeared all over. I do also have my brows done. Angie and I have very different brows, so I don't necessarily buy brow products based on her recommendation, so I don't know, maybe I do have some brow items that she loves as well, but I just went ahead and did my brows how I usually do. For my first look with the Hella palette, I would really like to go pink. So I'm kind of looking at these shades, a deepening shade, and I think I want to put River all over my lid as well. I think that's going to be really beautiful. So I'm going to start off with the shade Hella in my crease with a fluffy brush. Smooth out the creases. I first like to kind of stipple the color on to my base if I hadn't set it, which I did not set this Juvia's Place primer. And then kind of start blending a bit. I feel like this is popping really well on this really light colored Juvia's Place primer. It's appearing like a little more vibrant than I would have expected looking at it in the pan, which I really like. In today's video there will be some first impressions, but also just products that I owned and love and get use out of semi-regularly. I mean, when you have a large collection, how much of your makeup do you actually use regularly? But you guys know I'm on a low buy this year, and I just want you to know I did not go and buy a ton of makeup for today's video. I mean, not that it really matters to you, but you know. Next, I'm going in with Goddess, this very bright, deeper pink. And I'm gonna put that all over the lid. I don't know why I grabbed a fluffy brush. Let me switch that. Now that I have that packed all over my lid, I'm going to go back in the fluffy brush that I grabbed first and blend it up into my crease as well. I just love pink eyeshadow. I don't really know why, but I always tend to gravitate towards it. Now with a more precise blending brush, I'm going to go into the shade Soot and deepen up my outer corner with that. Ooh, there's quite a bit of kick up with that shade. Do you guys have tips for how to make your eyes appear symmetrical when they're physically not? Like, my brow bone droops down lower over here, so when I can kind of make this angled shape on here, because this brow bone is higher, it kind of gets lost in the droop, you know? Like my brow, I'm getting older, you know, it happens. This brow bone is kind of like sinking down, you know what I mean? Alright, I'm quite happy with those mattes. I feel like they blended relatively easily. I'm still not quite used to the Juvia's Place primer, so it's a bit more of a sticky base than what I am particularly used to, and I don't know if it's going to be my favorite, but I'm quite happy with my look so far. And I do want to top my lid with River. I believe River is like a multi-chrome, or at least it's a very glittery dimensional kind of shade. I prefer just using my fingers for my lid. Every time I film this style of video, I try and be like everyone else and use a brush, but it just works better for me like this. Oh yes. That is absolutely stunning topped on this pink shade. I just keep adding more, not because I need to, but because I just can't help but continue to dip my finger in it. I am going to layer a little bit on Soot as well, that deeper shade. Okay, I know you're not going to be perfectly in focus, but can you see how beautiful that is? Wow. I love that. I'm super impressed. I'm just going to mirror the mattes I did on the top onto my lower lash line. So I'm placing Soot in the outer portion with just a flat definer brush. Then Goddess on this smudger brush. And lastly, Hella, the shade that we started with, to just smoke this out a little bit more. Okay, and while I'm tempted to put River on my inner corner as well, because it's just so stunning, in the spirit of trying more shades, I'm going to go in with Hellfire, this peachy shade, and put that on my inner corner. And I like bringing my inner corner shade up a little bit into that front part of the crease. Wow, I'm so happy I have this palette in my collection. I'm happy to be using it for the very first time, and I can't wait to reach for it again. I am very happy with my eye look so far. For mascara, I brought down the one that I have open, which is the ABH Lash Brag or something. I'm just trying to use this up. Alright, 2 coats of mascara, and I'm going to call that good. I'm going to zoom you guys out just a tad and we will do the rest of the face. Alright, I didn't have any of Angie's favorite primers. I don't even know if she uses primers every time she does her makeup or just uses her moisturizer and SPF. Anything that she chatted about on her channel I didn't have, and I'm really content with my primer collection and didn't want to buy a new one, so I'm just going to go in with my Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Pro Filter whatever primer because I know I really love this one and I'm have a good understanding of how it works. And because we will be trying a new foundation today, I wanted to limit the variables. I also did my skincare and SPF etc. right before coming down to film, so I am good and moisturized. For foundation, I picked up one that Angie raved about. This is the Fenty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I did get mine in the shade 3, which matched me at the time that I bought this, but now I'm thinking is going to be a little light. I do have a fair skin tone, quite fair in the winter, but I tan very easily even though I apply my SPF. So I think I've already gained some color, but I have yet to use this. I have only swatched it. I'm hoping that it works well with the Fenty primer. I don't see why it wouldn't. My understanding is that this is a light coverage skin tint. I have the e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. I'm just going to kind of messily apply this and then I smooth it out with my beauty sponge. Actually, I think this is good. I recently, in the last couple weeks, started tretinoin and my skin is in the I'm very angry and red stage. And I hope that that calms down soon because my skin has been very irritated. And also, starting tretinoin right as summer is starting was also probably not a great idea, but here we are. So it does have light coverage. I am going to try and build it up just a touch. I really like tinted moisturizer type products, but I thought this had a smidge more coverage than that, which it might. I just Just give me a second. But I'm very happy with the color. Actually, it matches my neck perfectly. I feel like my neck stays lighter longer than my face because it doesn't get direct sunlight. But that's okay. I should have probably gotten a bit of a darker shade, knowing that this is a product that I would probably most enjoy in the summer. I am going to apply a little bit more on my cheeks where I have all of this scarring. That is applying very smoothly over the Fenty primer, which I assumed it would. Not only is that primer one of my favorites, just period, I just thought a Fenty primer should work well with a Fenty foundation. I don't really feel like it built up much, but it appears very smooth on my skin. The color is good. I'll see how it wears throughout the day, but I mean, very brief first impressions. I am liking it. Hopping into concealer, I have two that is Angie's faves. First is the NYX Born to Glow. I have the shade Fair, which is a great color for me right now, and I need to get more use out of that. However, I did just purchase the Kosas Revealer Concealer. Now, I actually bought this on It's Just Steph's rave recommendation. She talks about it all the time, but it is also one of Angie's faves. And because we're testing out a new foundation product, I really don't like doing first impressions of a ton of things that could compete with each other. So I'm going to save the Kosas concealer to try out another day, and I will be using my NYX Born to Glow. I feel like Angie has compared these formulas and said they're relatively similar. I don't know, I haven't used the Kosas one, but I will be using the NYX Born to Glow today. This is like a lighter, medium coverage concealer, but it does have like a healthy finish to it. I really do hate the applicator though. I prefer like the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. If you're gonna have like a puff thing, at least that is softer. Like, I just feel like this is kind of tough. I don't really like to do a full triangle, but here we are. That seems to be what I'm doing. Put a little bit on my forehead because it still is looking a little red, like right here. My skin is quite irritated from my new prescription. Just pounce it in. I'm using the AOA Beauty Sponge. It looks just like the Beauty Blender, feels like the Beauty Blender. I got the multi-pack for like, I don't know, $6 or $8 or something. And so far I'm like really happy with them. I don't know if you can really tell that like kind of glowy finish on the under eyes, which I actually really like. I do have some lines and texture happening under there, and if a concealer is too full coverage and like a matte finish, it really accentuates all the lines and the bumps and all the things going on my under eyes. To set my under eyes, I'm going with my Ciate Everyday Vacay powder, which is a favorite of mine. I don't have a powder that Angie loves. I know she loves the NYX finishing powder and high glass powder, but I don't have either of those. And like I said, I purposely limited myself to only buying 3 items for a YouTube video at this point, for both low buy and financial reasons. But this powder is really amazing. If you've never tried it, I didn't get it in a BoxyCharm, but I got it on Poshmark from someone who did because I saw good reviews and I really enjoy it. Setting my concealer with this powder is very white. And to set my cheeks, I'm going to go in with my CoverGirl Smoothers one. Again, this is just a powder that I had. I have a lot of powders in my collection right now, and same with primers. I'm just like not interested at the current moment in buying and testing new ones, which is saying something for someone like me that just likes buying and testing makeup. And that just kind of ebbs and flows. I go through phases where I want to test out and own all of the primers that I see, and then now I'm just like, I have enough. I like the ones I have. Right now I'm really wanting like all of the lip products, and ColourPop is in my grasp again, even though I have so much ColourPop I own and have yet to use. My wish list on their website is getting quite long, but I'm resisting the urge. Bronzer, one of Angie's favorites that I gleaned from her channel and watching her videos, was the Juvia's Place Bronzer Duo. Again, I don't think this is like her tippy top favorite, but it was mentioned in one of her videos, and so I did pick it up. I got the Duo in Light, which looks like this. I think I'm going... Let's start with the lightest shade and see how it goes. It's also like slightly more cool toned. This is like a very soft contour effect. I do feel like I am having to build it quite a bit. So let's go in with, why is my arm like wrapped around so weird, with the deeper shade. On camera it's looking, I think, better than it's looking in my mirror. It's feeling a little orangey. I mean, it is warmer, but it's pulling like a smidge orange on my cheeks. It is looking a bit better on my forehead. That's interesting. Again, this is a first impression of this bronzer duo, not a review. Put the bronzer brush down and step away. For blush, again, this was because of It's Just Steph, but again, I do know that Angie really likes this blush formula. This is the Nebula Skin Glazing Blush. I have the shade Truth. I've never tried this before either. We're having quite a few first impressions today. This looks like a very luminous blush. I love a glowy blush. I know Angie does too. We have that in common as well. This has like that baked gelée formula, so I'm using a bit of a stiffer blush brush. I am obsessed with blush, so I might go a little heavy-handed. This is just a beautiful peachy pink, golden kind of glow to it. A very kind of classic shade, but in a newer, more updated formula compared to something like NARS Orgasm or something. Oh my god, look at that glow. You almost don't need a highlighter with this. I feel like it is accentuating the texture just a smidge on my cheek. I think you can see it right there. But honestly, I love it anyways. I don't even care. I talked about my skin issues on my channel quite a bit throughout the years, and like, while I have acne prone, textured, scarred skin, it's just my skin. I've been dealing with acne since I was 11, and at some point I just accepted it, and I prefer more light to medium coverage foundations, glowier finishes, even though I have kind of combo oily skin, and I'm just over this stage of my makeup journey. Sorry, my tragus is sticking out. Where I don't feel like I need to cover my skin completely. Skin has texture, skin has pores. I don't really care that this blush is accentuating it a little bit because it's so glowy and beautiful. I don't care. Even though technically I feel like I don't need a highlighter at this point with this glowy blush, I have Angie's favorite highlighter formula. I have 4 shades of the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters. I have Counting Sheep, which is my least favorite. This is the limited edition one, and it's super glittery, like beyond glittery. I have Guilty Pleasure, which is my newest one. This is like a smidge deeper than Champagne Pop, but it's like that kind of champagne-y, peachy shade. I have Smoke and Whistles, which is my favorite fair-skinned highlighter. And I also have On the Cusp, which is a great summer shade for me, which I think this is going to be a smidge too dark. So I'm kind of in between Guilty Pleasure, which is this one, and Smoke and Whistles. I think I'm going to go Guilty Pleasure because it has more of that like goldeny champagne base with a peachy shift, and I don't think it necessarily goes with my eye look, but this is what we're going to use today. This is probably my favorite highlighter formula as well. It's just so creamy and beautiful. I would even love to have more of these, though I will never be able to get through them. Do you hear my voice just going? Like, why can't I speak for over half an hour without my voice just completely disappearing? It leaves a beautiful glow. They melt right into the skin. I love just the texture of putting my finger in here as well. Stunning. I don't know if Guilty Pleasure is still available, but if you have never tried a Super Shock highlighter, I definitely think you should. They have a ton of different shades. Is that it? All we have left is lips? I have a lot of lip products that Angie loves. Let me just take my hair down. I hate doing my makeup with my hair down. Oh no, it's a rat's nest. Okay, well, my hair's a disaster. It's okay. Lip products. Like I said, I have quite a few that Angie loves. First off, Angie turned me on to the Propa Beauty lipsticks. This is a woman-owned indie brand, and I have 3 shades from their original nude line. They came out with like a reddish berry pinky line after this, and those aren't shades I reach for as often as nudes, but these are super affordable, very creamy, melty kind of lipsticks. So if you prefer, these are not matte by any means. I'll show you what shades I have. I have Finesse. I love that one. Her Magic, which I think is the deepest one that I have. These go super deep. You can find a shade, any skin tone can find their nude in this line. I am sure they did an amazing job. That is Her Magic. Nope, this one. And then I have Victress as well, which is a more like yellowy kind of nude, if you will. Right there. Angie also loves the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb, whatever. I have learned to love this. I did not like this formula when I first tried it, but it has grown on me. This is just the classic Fenty Glow shade. Angie also loves the ColourPop Luxe Lip Oils, whereas I do not love this formula. I have one in the shade Skinny Dip, which is a very pale nude shade. Now it could be partially the shade. I don't reach for pale nudes like this, but it could also not be the shade. I don't know. I just find it very thin, slippy, less lip oil like. So, okay, let me back up. The lip oil that I prefer, I love the Cab Beauty lip oil, which has a bit more substance to it. Like, it's a bit thicker, but it's still definitely a lip oil over a lip gloss. I don't know if I'm making sense, but the Luxe lip oils from ColourPop are not my favorite. And then another gloss formula that Angie loves is the So Juicy glosses from ColourPop. I have the shade Dress Code, which is this kind of mauve-y shade. Now it's, you know, more sheer than what it appears in the tube. And this is a thicker, stickier gloss. I swatched it right there. So these are the 6 lip products that I have already in my collection that are favorites of Angelica's. For today, I think I'm just going to go with a gloss. These Propa Beauty lipsticks do not need a gloss on top. In fact, I prefer to wear them just on their own as they are when I wear these. Very creamy, thinner lipstick formula. I really enjoy having these, and thank you, Angelica, for introducing me to that brand. I love finding new indie brands to support. Like I said, the Luxe lip oil is not my favorite, and I think for today I want to go in with the Fenty Glow lip gloss. I want to get more use of this. This is just a mini and I feel like I should use it up soon. I am not a lip liner kind of girl. I know Angie reviews quite a lot of lip liners on her channel, and I feel like most people put lip liner under their lip glosses, but I'm just not a lip liner kind of girl. I only work on them when I'm forced to try and finish them up in my project pans. But this is the look I came up with using Angelica Nyqvist favorites. I am very pleased with how this look came out. I am obsessed with the glittery goodness that is happening on my eyes right now. I'm very excited to do more looks with the Hella palette, and this was my first time trying Odin's Eye as well. Ooh, I didn't even realize that fully when I was doing my eyeshadows, but I really like the formula, the cheek products, everything. I look glowy and natural, I feel like. One thing, I like a light coverage foundation, like I mentioned, I like a skin tint, but since the sun has come out, my melasma spot on my forehead is much more prominent. It's getting darker with the sunshine. That's part of the reason why I started tretinoin, hopefully to lighten that. But that's what this is on my forehead, not a dent or a shadow. And I feel like the Fenty Eavesdrop didn't really cover it that much, but that's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video series idea. I already asked a while ago on my Instagram, and have your tallies in front of me on which creators you would like to see me try their favorites. Angelica was one of the creators voted on, but I already knew that I wanted to do her first before that. But you can leave your suggestions in the comments down below of any creator you would like to see me do a full face of their favorites, or mostly a full face. I didn't do brows, primer, or powder for Angelica. I have a list of, I think there's 20 creators on this sticky note, so I'm not going to list them all, but you don't have to choose from the ones I am speaking aloud right now. These are just some of the people. Some of them have more than one vote already, but many people have just one. So I have It's Just Steph, Allie Glines, Samantha March, Julia Adams, Kelly Gooch, Jessica Braun, Steph's Beauty Stash, but there are so many more. Like I said, there's 20 people on this list. So if you have a creator that you really love, that you love getting their makeup recommendations from, you can leave them in the comments below, and I will review their top 3 in every category, their best of beauty, their monthly favorites, whatever, to kind of glean some of their favorite makeup products. This isn't going to be a full face of like their holy grails necessarily, but just products that they have reviewed and loved in the past year or so, year or two. This has taken me a really long time to film. I thank you so much if you did make it to the end. Let me know what you think of the very first look I made with the Hella palette from Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyqvist. If you did enjoy this video and want to see more like this on my channel, be sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!